I think romance might go out of fashion, but it doesn't go out of flavor. Yeah.
For decades, Hollywood's most enigmatic icon has let the internet spin its wildest theories, from being an ageless, immortal time traveler to those hushed, persistent whispers behind closed doors. But the wait is officially over. Keanu Reeves has finally broken his legendary silence, stepping into the spotlight to address the one rumor fans never stopped talking about. Here is exactly what he confirmed, and what it means for the man who continues to redefine the rules of celebrity. The fractured childhood that shaped Keanu Reeves. Keanu Charles Reeves entered the world on September 2, 1964, in the historic city of Beirut, Lebanon. His mother, Patricia Taylor, was an English costume designer and stage performer who happened to be working in Beirut when she met his father, Samuel Nowlin Reeves Jr. His father was an American from Hawaii, boasting a rich, diverse heritage made up of native Hawaiian, Chinese, English, and Portuguese blood. Because of his paternal grandmother's Chinese ethnicity, young Keanu spent his earliest years immersed in a home filled with traditional Chinese art, beautiful furniture, and authentic cuisine. His mother also made sure to teach him strict English manners, a polite and gentle way of speaking that he would proudly carry with him all the way into adulthood. But beneath this fascinating mix of global cultures, a heavy storm was brewing in his family life. His parents' relationship burned out quickly, and they officially divorced in 1966 when Keanu was just a toddler. Following the split, his father made the choice to walk out on the family completely, leaving Patricia as a single mother tasked with raising Keanu and his newborn younger sister, Kim, all on her own. This sudden abandonment meant that Keanu was only 3 years old when his family structure shattered, forcing his mother to pack their bags and look for a fresh start elsewhere. She moved the small family first to Sydney, Australia, and then directly into the fast-paced energy of New York City. The scenery kept changing, and so did the parental figures in Keanu's life. In 1970, while living in New York, his mother married Paul Aaron, a talented Broadway and Hollywood director. Hoping this new marriage would bring lasting stability, the family moved once again, this time settling down in Toronto, Canada. Unfortunately, the marriage didn't last, and the couple divorced just a single year later in 1971. Despite the quick breakup, Paul Aaron remained incredibly close to Keanu, stepping up as a life mentor, offering him solid advice, and eventually recommending him for his very first theater jobs. By 1976, Keanu's mother married yet again, this time to a rock music promoter named Robert Miller. But this relationship also dissolved by 1980. Because of this constant carousel of moving trucks and stepfathers, Keanu and his sisters grew up primarily in Toronto's Yorkville neighborhood under the frequent care of a nanny. To escape the chaos of his changing household, the young boy found comfort in watching British comedy shows like The Two Ronnies and letting his imagination run wild. Meanwhile, his biological father had completely faded into the background. The absolute final chapter of their relationship happened on the Hawaiian island of Kauai, when Keanu was 13 years old. On their very last day together, they sat on a veranda and stared up at the dark sky in near total silence, with his father hardly saying a single word the entire evening. The next morning, his dad dropped him off at the airport, and Keanu never heard from him again for a decade. Samuel tried to get back in touch with his son one last time in the 1990s, but the wounds of abandonment ran too deep, and Keanu chose not to reach back out before his father sadly passed away in 2018. Looking back on the trauma, the actor later admitted that the experience was deeply painful. Though he noted it was hard to measure the exact damage, because he simply didn't know what a normal, stable life would have looked like. With his home life in constant survival mode, the classroom became another massive struggle. It is hard to imagine a confident, global movie star feeling insecure. But things were incredibly difficult for Keanu in school. He was dealing with dyslexia, a learning disorder that makes reading, writing, and processing text feel like an uphill battle. Because he had so much trouble reading, he wasn't a good student and constantly felt like he didn't fit in with the other kids. To cope with that deep sense of isolation, he turned to pretending, spending his free time acting out fictional characters as a way to escape his real-world anxieties. His behavior in school wasn't smooth either, as he was a private kid who was also a little too rambunctious for his own good. He had a habit of shooting his mouth off once too often, admitting himself that he was far from the most well-oiled machine in the building. This combination of learning difficulties and behavioral issues caused him to bounce through 4 different high schools in Toronto. At one point, he was even completely expelled from the Etobicoke School of the Arts for his rowdy behavior. Amidst the academic failure, Keanu found a powerful saving grace on the ice. While attending De La Salle College, he became a wildly successful ice hockey goalkeeper. He was so dominant at blocking shots that his teammates gave him the nickname The Wall. Keanu fell deeply in love with the sport and had serious aspirations to play for the Canadian Olympic team, even earning recognition as a legitimate Ontario Hockey League prospect. But just as a bright athletic future seemed within reach, a severe injury shattered his hockey career, forcing him to completely reinvent himself. Thankfully, he had already discovered a second passion. At the age of 15, he had performed in a school play, and the spark for acting blossomed instantly. To keep his dream alive while trying to satisfy the school system, he transferred to Avondale Secondary Alternative School, which graciously allowed him to get an education while working professional acting gigs on the side. But by the time he turned 17, the frustration of traditional schooling became too much to bear, and he made the final decision to drop out completely. Dropping out wasn't a defeat. It was the ultimate leap into his true destiny. Using a green card he obtained through his American director's stepfather, a 20-year-old Keanu packed up his life, left Canada behind, and drove straight to Los Angeles with nothing but an old car and a dream. Even though he held only Canadian citizenship, he was determined to make Hollywood take him seriously. The relentless hustle paid off quickly when he landed his very first professional appearance in a 1984 episode of the comedy show Hangin' In. The boy who couldn't read the blackboard and got kicked out of school used those exact emotional scars to build a raw, authentic vulnerability that captivated audiences worldwide. He refused to let a fractured childhood, a missing father, or a broken education define his limits, ultimately using his chaotic past to completely rewrite the script of his life. From ridiculed actor to multi-billion-dollar cinematic icon. Keanu Reeves did not explode into Hollywood overnight. When he first broke into the industry in 1984, he was just another hungry young actor putting everything he had into sharpening his skills. He fell deeply in love with classical theater, studied intense performance methods, and actively sought out professional training. Fortunately, his mother fully backed his dreams, and his director's stepfather used his industry connections to help the eager young actor get his foot in the door. After a string of minor television roles, Keanu finally stepped onto the big screen in 1986. Hollywood quickly took notice of his natural screen presence when he played a deeply troubled teenager in a bleak, heavy drama, followed by an emotional performance as the son of an alcoholic father. These early, dramatic roles proved he had real depth. But it was a light-hearted, unexpected sci-fi comedy in 1989 that completely changed his destiny. Playing a famously dim-witted, time-traveling high schooler, Keanu captured a unique kind of lightning in a bottle. The movie became a massive, enduring hit that introduced his iconic, laid-back charm to mainstream pop culture. Despite his growing popularity, Keanu's career became a fascinating paradox. Critics frequently attacked his acting abilities, bashing his performances in psychological thrillers and calling his attempts at historical accents flat or uninspiring. Even fellow actors openly mocked his talent in their memoirs. Keanu himself was his own harshest critic during those early years, admitting in a raw interview that he often felt insecure and sometimes even hated the process of acting. Yet, Keanu possessed a rare, resilient quality that his critics completely underestimated. In 1994, he completely transformed his image by playing a fearless bomb expert in a high-octane thriller. The movie was an absolute box office juggernaut, successfully reinventing the soft-spoken actor into an action hero. This momentum paved the way for the defining moment of his career in 1999. By stepping into a mind-bending cyberpunk universe as a trench-coat-wearing savior, Keanu reached a mind-blowing level of global stardom. The revolutionary sci-fi classic became a cultural phenomenon, launching a massive franchise and cementing his place in cinematic history. Throughout the decades, Keanu consistently refused to be put in a box. He constantly pivoted between genres, moving from sports dramas and romantic comedies to dark comic book thrillers. He even stepped behind the camera to make his directorial debut with a martial arts passion project. Just when the industry thought he had peaked, he shocked the world again in 2014 by portraying a lethal, hyper-focused assassin. This legendary anti-hero breathed new life into the action genre, sparking a massively successful, multi-film universe. Now, operating at the peak of his powers, Hollywood's most enigmatic icon continues to expand his legendary empire. He has recently lent his iconic, gravelly voice to major animated blockbusters, video games, and comic book adaptations. He even wrapped up highly anticipated projects like a dark comedy about a Hollywood star confronting his past, and a fantastical satire where he plays a clumsy guardian angel. By constantly tearing up the script and evolving, the boy who once struggled to read his lines has spent over 40 years completely rewriting the rules of global celebrity. The two-level spinal fusion Keanu Reeves hid from Hollywood. Regardless of whether you love or hate his movies, there is absolutely no denying that Keanu Reeves is one of the most wholesome, kind-hearted human beings walking the earth today. The beloved star has captured the hearts of millions across the globe, not just for his incredible performance as a legendary cinematic assassin or a trench-coat-wearing savior, but for his exceptionally gentle nature, deep humility, and incredibly down-to-earth personality. In a world full of out-of-touch celebrities, Keanu stands entirely alone as a genuine beacon of light. His sweet, everyday interactions with total strangers and quiet moments of public generosity have frequently gone viral, spawning iconic internet memes that only cement his status as the internet's favorite gentleman. Yet, when you look closely at the sheer volume of heartbreak and physical pain this man has quietly carried throughout his life, his relentlessly optimistic outlook becomes genuinely profound. It seems that from his very earliest days, the poor guy simply could not catch a single break. His entire life story reads like a series of tragedies that would have easily broken lesser individuals. Keanu has survived catastrophic bodily harm and endured the kind of devastating emotional grief that leaves permanent scars on the human soul. But instead of letting these immense hardships turn him bitter or angry at the world, he has miraculously managed to spin his deep pain into a powerful, inspiring template for grace and resilience. A massive portion of Keanu's legendary resilience can be traced directly to his absolute passion for motorcycles, a high-octane hobby that has left his body covered in severe scars and battle wounds. He is a notorious daredevil on two wheels, and he has endured an endless list of agonizing injuries, including multiple broken ribs, fractured teeth, and severely torn muscles. Perhaps the most terrifying accident of his entire life occurred on a notoriously twisty, dangerous stretch of road in Topanga Canyon. Keanu was out on what he later called a reckless demon ride when he completely misjudged a sharp turn, traveling entirely too fast before losing total control and going flying off his bike into the darkness. In that split second of horror, he genuinely believed he was going to die. The battered actor landed heavily on the pavement and spent 30 agonizing minutes lying completely alone on the asphalt, crying out for help in the pitch black before an ambulance finally arrived to save his life. The impact was so severe that his spleen completely ruptured inside his body and had to be surgically removed by emergency doctors, leaving a massive, permanent vertical scar stretching right down the middle of his abdomen. Remarkably, Keanu survived the brush with death and walked away with a profound new appreciation for his own mortality, realizing that if he wanted to enjoy his passion without dying, he needed to respect his limits. Yet, this near-fatal wreck did absolutely nothing to extinguish his inner daredevil, and he has gone on to survive several more painful motorcycle crashes in the years since. But physical pain is nothing compared to the quiet, fierce devotion Keanu has always shown when protecting the people he loves most. His profound capacity for kindness became undeniably clear when his beloved younger sister, Kim, was diagnosed with leukemia, a vicious and life-threatening cancer of the blood. The moment the terrifying news broke, the young actor dropped everything to become her primary caretaker. He stepped completely away from the glitz and glamour of Hollywood to personally cook her meals, clean her house, and organize her daily medications while she endured years of grueling, intensely painful cancer treatments. Whenever the physical pain became completely unbearable for Kim, Keanu would sit quietly by her bedside for hours, holding her hand and providing a steady anchor of comfort. Fortunately, after a long and agonizing decade-long battle, Kim finally went into complete remission and made a beautiful recovery. Witnessing his sister's terrifying ordeal up close inspired Keanu to use his wealth to make a permanent difference in the lives of others. He quietly started a private, non-profit foundation dedicated to funding children's hospitals and cutting-edge cancer research, consciously choosing to keep his name entirely off the charity so it could focus purely on helping sick kids. The public's belief in his endless generosity is so massive that when a viral internet rumor claimed he had secretly donated 70% of his massive sci-fi movie earnings to cancer research, the entire world instantly believed it without a single shred of doubt. Even though his publicist later clarified the exact numbers were inaccurate, the rumor proved just how deeply the world trusts Keanu's golden heart. Tragically, this immense capacity for love has also meant experiencing the ultimate weight of grief, most notably when his absolute best friend and fellow rising star, River Phoenix, was taken from the world. The two incredibly talented young actors had formed a beautiful, soul-deep brotherhood after crossing paths on a movie set, eventually co-starring together as troubled youths in a critically acclaimed drama. They shared a profound creative energy and quickly became inseparable. But the bright future they were building together was violently shattered when River suffered a fatal drug overdose outside a popular Hollywood nightclub, dying in the street at the tragic age of 23. The sudden loss completely devastated Keanu, sending him into a deep, silent period of mourning that he could not hide from his closest co-stars, who watched him grieve with an intensity that was heartbreaking to witness. 3 decades later, Keanu still speaks of his late brother with immense reverence, describing him as a fiercely creative, uniquely beautiful soul who was entirely too good for this world. Yet, even when his body was literally breaking down underneath the weight of his demanding career, Keanu's unstoppable work ethic and sheer grit never wavered. Right before he was set to begin intense training for the iconic, mind-bending Matrix franchise that would eventually redefine modern action cinema, he began experiencing severe, terrifying neurological symptoms. He was dealing with a dangerous spinal issue that caused constant tingling sensations to shoot down his limbs, completely throwing off his balance. A medical examination revealed a horrifying reality. One of his spinal discs was bulging severely, while another disc in his neck was completely fractured. He desperately needed major surgery, but he was so utterly obsessed with the revolutionary script that he hid the severe injury from the studio directors out of fear that they would recast his role. Instead of walking away, Keanu quietly underwent an intense medical procedure known as a 2-level spinal fusion, where surgeons permanently locked his neck vertebrae together with a metal plate. Showing the kind of unbelievable, superhuman determination that defines his entire legacy, he walked straight out of the hospital and onto the training set to begin months of brutal martial arts preparation. He forced his body to execute complex wire work, intense acrobatics, and high-speed choreography, all while quietly wearing a thick medical neck brace hidden beneath his wardrobe. Keanu simply refused to let physical limitations or overwhelming personal tragedy dictate what he could accomplish. By consistently facing the absolute hardest truths of life with unmatched emotional courage, the boy who survived a lifetime of wreckage has proven that true strength doesn't come from a lack of pain, but from the beautiful, gentle way you carry it forward. The unthinkable, 15-month tragedy that altered Keanu Reeves. Back in 1998, Keanu Reeves seemed to be living an absolute dream. He was hot off major film successes, actively touring with his rock band Dogstar, and he had just fallen deeply in love with an actor and filmmaker assistant named Jennifer Syme. The two young creatives clicked instantly at a promotional party for his band, and within a few months, they were thrilled to discover that Jennifer was pregnant. They eagerly prepared to welcome their beautiful daughter, Ava, into the world, completely unaware of the heartbreaking devastation waiting for them just around the corner. On Christmas Eve in 1999, when Jennifer was 8 months pregnant, she went into premature labor and gave birth to their daughter, who was tragically stillborn. The sudden, agonizing loss tore a massive hole through the couple's world, and the overwhelming weight of their shared grief made it impossible to keep their relationship alive, leading to a painful breakup just a few weeks later. Reflecting on the permanent nature of loss years later, Keanu directly challenged the idea that time heals all wounds. He openly stated that grief changes shape but never truly ends, correcting the common misconception that you can simply get better and leave the pain behind. Instead, he maintains a quiet hope that eventually the intense mourning will transform into a place of solace and pleasant memories rather than just pure loss. Tragically, the universe was not done breaking his heart. Less than 2 years after burying his daughter, Keanu was hit with another wave of absolute devastation in April 2001. After attending a social gathering at a musician's home, Jennifer Syme was driven back to her residence. However, for reasons that remain entirely unclear, she decided to get behind the wheel of her own vehicle while heavily intoxicated. On her way back to the party, she tragically lost control, crashing violently into a row of parked cars on a Los Angeles street. The impact was so severe that she was thrown directly from the driver's seat and died instantly at the scene. Understandably, the fiercely private actor chose not to speak directly to the media about the horrific loss of his former girlfriend. Instead, he channeled that profound, untouchable grief directly into his craft, specifically using it to build the emotional foundation for his iconic character, John Wick. Keanu later explained that when playing a role, he blends the words on the page with his own raw life experiences. He admitted that he deeply relates to the character's profound mourning, stating that grief and loss are heavy things that simply never go away, staying locked inside your soul forever. While these unimaginable tragedies permanently altered his life, Keanu has managed to find a peaceful new chapter of love with his longtime partner, visual artist Alexandra Grant, whom he has been happily with since 2011. Yet, because his path has been so uniquely marked by sorrow, thoughts of mortality are constantly on his mind. In a candid interview, the actor openly admitted that he thinks about death all the time. But in true Keanu fashion, he insists that these deep thoughts are not a dark or depressing thing. Instead, he believes that staying fully aware of death makes him incredibly sensitive to the world, giving him a deep, beautiful appreciation for every single breath he takes and every meaningful relationship he has the chance to build. He even poured these deep philosophical musings into co-writing his first fantasy novel, The Book of Elsewhere, which follows an immortal warrior who desperately wishes to die. Keanu explained that building these creative fictional worlds provides a sense of genuine comfort, allowing him to process his real-world pain while offering deep, thought-provoking stories to his millions of fans. But the challenges in his life are not just emotional. They are physical, too. Known for performing his own jaw-dropping stunts in massive action franchises, Keanu's latest severe injury did not actually happen during a high-speed car chase or a rooftop leap. While filming the comedy movie Good Fortune, Keanu and his co-stars decided to take a therapeutic cold plunge. Right after stepping out of the freezing water, the actor was wrapped tightly in a towel, doing a funny cold shuffle into the next room. Suddenly, his foot got caught in a small pocket of the protective carpeting on the floor. He tripped and crashed down heavily, but his leg remained completely stuck. The actor vividly recalled the horrific sound of the impact, describing how his kneecap literally cracked like a crispy potato chip. Despite fracturing his knee and being forced to use crutches behind the scenes, his legendary work ethic pushed him to stick tightly to the filming schedule, only delaying a complicated salsa dancing scene until his body had fully healed. To make matters worse, his status as a wealthy global icon has also made him a prime target for real-world criminals. Keanu's private residence has been targeted by professional burglars multiple times over the decades, including a terrifying string of break-ins in 2014 and a relentless stalker who trespassed onto his property 6 times in a single year. The violations peaked yet again when a group of masked suspects broke a rear window in his backyard, infiltrated his home, and escaped into the night with a firearm and a collection of luxury watches worth a staggering $125,000. The story took an international twist when Chilean police carried out a massive raid in Santiago, smashing a sophisticated transnational crime ring that specialized in targeting celebrity homes in America. During the raid, authorities recovered 6 of Keanu's stolen timepieces, including a highly valuable custom-engraved Rolex that he had personally gifted to his stunt crew. A young suspect was arrested in connection to the crime, and the valuable watches were handed over to the FBI to be returned to their rightful owner. While fans joked that the real-life John Wick might hunt down the thieves himself, Keanu once again chose the path of quiet dignity. By facing every physical injury, personal violation, and deep emotional scar with unmatched grace, he continues to prove that true heroism lies in your ability to remain remarkably soft, kind, and generous to a world that has given you every reason to be cold. Why Keanu Reeves just addressed the Alexandra Grant marriage rumors. The internet has spent months spinning wild theories about a secret wedding between Keanu Reeves and his longtime girlfriend, visual artist Alexandra Grant. But the mystery is officially solved. Stepping out onto the red carpet for the New York City premiere of his movie Good Fortune, Keanu directly addressed the massive wave of rumors suggesting that they had finally tied the knot behind closed doors. With his signature grounded humor, the actor completely confirmed the real status of their relationship, making it clear that a runaway internet story cannot shake what they have built. "Well, that wasn't the first time," Keanu joked when asked about the global wedding speculation. He smiled, completely unfazed by the digital noise, and added, "We've been going out for a long time." Rather than letting the rumors cause frustration, Keanu used the spotlight to praise Alexandra for how she beautifully handled the chaos on social media just a few weeks prior. The visual artist had taken to Instagram to clear up the confusion after a romantic photo of the couple kissing sparked a massive misunderstanding, with fans mistaking it for an official wedding announcement or an artificial intelligence creation. Alexandra explicitly labeled the viral reports as fake news, sharing the candid picture to give fans a dose of real happiness instead of a fabricated headline. While she warmly thanked the public for the sudden flood of congratulations, she made it clear that no vows had actually been exchanged. Keanu expressed total admiration for her straightforward approach, noting that while the sweet messages from fans were incredibly nice, Alexandra did a wonderful job of gracefully stepping up to say, "Thank you, but here's the reality." To back up their personal statements, an official representative for the star issued a direct confirmation to the press, firmly stating that the marriage rumors are simply not true. Even though they don't have a marriage certificate, the couple proved that their bond is stronger than ever. They walked hand in hand down the premiere's red carpet, completely stealing the show by sharing sweet kisses in front of the flashing cameras. This affectionate public display is a beautiful milestone for a couple that has intentionally kept their romance low-key since making their official public debut at a Los Angeles art gala back in late 2019. Insiders close to the John Wick star reveal that this is easily the most positive, fun, and healthy relationship Keanu has ever experienced. Friends describe Alexandra as incredibly sweet, funny, and deeply independent, maintaining her own thriving art career while remaining fiercely supportive of Keanu's demanding filming schedule. Whether she is traveling across the world to join him on an international movie set or quietly visiting him during local shoots, her warm and caring presence has made her a massive favorite among Keanu's inner circle. This deep, mutual respect was on full display during the actor's latest birthday, when Alexandra shared a touching tribute online alongside a heart-shaped birthday cake, expressing how deeply grateful she is for their love and partnership. By stepping forward together to address the rumors, Keanu and Alexandra did something far better than confirming a secret wedding. They confirmed a beautiful, real-world partnership built on absolute trust, reminding the world that true love doesn't need a media spectacle to be completely real. Are you a fan of Keanu Reeves and Alexandra Grant? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, click the next video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.